Airbnb, the promise of cozy escapes, affordable stays, and unique experiences. For millions, it's the modern traveler's dream. But hidden beneath the glowing reviews and glossy photos lies a darker reality. Behind some doors, guests have found not comfort, but nightmares. Tonight, I'll take you inside 3 of the most disturbing Airbnb horror stories ever told. True accounts twisted with mystery, fear, and the unknown. Lock your doors, check your windows, because once you hear these tales, you'll never look at Airbnb the same way again. Our first story begins with a young woman named Emily. She was 26, traveling alone for a quiet getaway after months of stressful work. Scrolling through listings, she found a charming little cottage on Airbnb. The pictures showed sunlit rooms, rustic decoration, and reviews that spoke of peace and privacy. The price was unbelievably cheap. Almost too cheap. On arrival, the place seemed perfect. The host left the keys under the mat, and she stepped into the warmth of the cottage. For the first night, everything felt normal. But the second night, something changed. Emily woke at 2 a.m. to a faint sound. A creak. Like footsteps. She sat up, listening hard. Silence. She brushed it off as the old wood shifting in the cool night air. But the next morning, she noticed something strange. The chair in the corner was facing a different direction, toward her bed. She remembered leaving it by the desk. Nervously, she laughed it off. Maybe she'd forgotten. Maybe she was just tired. But as the days passed, the noises grew louder. Scratches in the walls. A soft cough in the dead of night. Drafts sweeping across her skin though no windows were open. One evening, while unpacking her clothes, she pulled her suitcase closer to the wardrobe. It felt heavier. She opened the door and noticed the back panel seemed loose. Curiosity or perhaps dread forced her hand. She tugged. The wood shifted, revealing a hidden passage. Her flashlight beam revealed something terrifying. A narrow corridor, leading deep into the walls of the house. And within it mattresses. Empty food containers. Crumpled photos, of Emily herself, taken while she slept. She screamed and bolted outside, calling the police. But when they searched the walls, the makeshift living space was abandoned. Whoever had been there, was gone. No fingerprints. No trace. Just the chilling evidence that someone had been living inches away from her. Watching. Waiting. The listing disappeared from Airbnb the next day. Emily never traveled alone again. Our second story follows a group of 4 friends, Jason, Mia, Caleb, and Nora. They booked a remote luxury cabin for a long weekend getaway. The listing boasted panoramic mountain views, a hot tub, and total seclusion. Exactly what they wanted. The host greeted them upon arrival. A middle-aged man named Mark. His smile was polite, but his eyes seemed hollow. Still, he showed them around, explained the rules, and left, wishing them a great stay. Or so they thought. That night, laughter filled the cabin as they cooked, played music, and told stories. But around midnight, the mood shifted. They heard footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, coming from the attic above. Confused, Jason reminded everyone that the host said they were the only ones booked. Caleb, curious, pulled down the attic ladder. Dust swirled as he climbed. But the space was empty. Just boxes, old furniture, and shadows. They laughed nervously and brushed it off. The next day, though, things got stranger. Their food was missing. Shoes were scattered across the porch. Nora's phone was found outside in the mud, though she swore she left it charging inside. That evening, Jason decided to call the host. But his phone went straight to voicemail. Then Mia checked the Airbnb app. The listing was still there, but the host's profile picture was different. It was the same cabin, but no mention of Mark. By nightfall, their fear peaked. Down in the basement, Caleb discovered a locked door. He forced it open and froze. Inside was a chilling sight: Polaroid photos of guests who had stayed before them. Dozens of them, pinned to the walls. Some smiling. Some asleep. And dates marked underneath each one. Jason's heart sank when he spotted their own faces, pictures taken that very weekend. Suddenly, the basement lights cut out. In the darkness, a voice whispered, "You shouldn't be here." They ran. They didn't stop until they reached the main road, flagging down a passing driver. When they returned with police hours later, the cabin stood empty. The photos were gone. No host. No trace. To this day, that cabin still appears on Airbnb. But the host is listed as unknown. The friends never spoke of that night again. Our final story belongs to a man named Daniel. A 34-year-old businessman traveling for work. He booked a clean, modern Airbnb in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The host promised privacy, keyless entry, and comfort. Perfect for his 3-night stay. But from the moment he arrived, the neighbors acted strangely. An older woman watering her garden froze, staring at him. "You're back?" she asked. Daniel smiled awkwardly, explaining it was his first time there. She frowned, saying she had seen him for weeks, coming and going from the very same house. Daniel laughed it off, blaming mistaken identity. But that night, he noticed shadows moving across the windows. And in the middle of the night, the front door clicked open. He rushed to check, but no one was there. Disturbed, he decided to check the security cameras the host had mentioned were active around the property. What he saw made his blood run cold. The footage showed someone identical to him. Same face. Same clothes. Entering and leaving the Airbnb, hours before he ever arrived. The next night, the noises grew louder. Footsteps, drawers opening, someone breathing in the hallway. At 3 a.m., Daniel woke to the sound of his own voice whispering from the kitchen. Grabbing a knife, he crept forward. And there, in the dim glow of the refrigerator light, he saw himself. The same man. The same eyes. Staring back. The doppelganger smiled. Then everything went black. When Daniel woke, he was lying outside on the driveway, his bags neatly packed beside him. The Airbnb lock code no longer worked. He checked the listing on his phone, gone. No record of it ever existing. To this day, he swears someone, or something, wore his face inside that house. Airbnb promises adventure. But not all adventures end the way we hope. Sometimes, the most ordinary places can hide the most chilling secrets. Hidden rooms. Vanishing hosts. Shadows that wear your face. Free stories. Free warnings. The next time you book a stay, remember, not every key unlocks comfort. Sometimes, it unlocks a nightmare. So, which story will haunt you tonight?